My name's Sheila, and I'm here from Boxing Rock Brewing Company. I'm a beer sommelier, and I love to talk about beer. I love to drink beer, and I love to learn a little bit about beer. So today, I'm here to tell you about the brewing process, the infamous brewing process. We are not in the brewery, however, I am going to try and brew a beer for you in hopefully 3 or 4 minutes or less, so you can get a good sense of what the brewing process is all about. So the first step involves our malted barley. And malted barley is brought into the milling room. This is my beautiful milling room, an old-fashioned coffee grinder. And the malted barley is kind of cracked open in the grinder, in the grist mill. And from there, produces a nice cracked open kind of malted barley. And from the grist mill, from the milling room, goes over into what we call the mash tun. On the way, our hot liquor tank, or hot water tank, fills up our mash tun with really nice hot water. The milled barley is added, and there, mashing happens. Lautering happens as well, which basically means that all the sugar is taken from the malted barley and made into wort. Wort is the fine liquid that makes delicious beer. And so this spends a bit of time with hot water, being sparged, being recirculated, and being lautered. So the water comes in and out, sparging the grain, getting all the sugar it possibly can out of the actual grain, making that beautiful wort. From the mash tun, or lautering tun, it is transferred over into what is called our kettle. And the kettle is a really interesting vessel because this is where all the magic happens. But before that magic happens, you see all this delicious grain left over. This is what's called spent grain. And we're really lucky here at Boxing Rock and many other breweries in that this spent grain actually goes to farmers for feed, for cows, for pigs. It can also be used in delicious bread as well. So you can make pizza crusts and bread with that spent grain. It's still quite nutritious and certainly something that can be easily recycled. So the wort has been transferred over to our kettle. And in our kettle, this is where, as I said, the real magic happens in the brewing process. This is where our hops are added. So hops can be added at the very beginning of the kettle, or the boil, throughout, and at the end, depending on what kind of beer you want and what kind of aroma, bittering, or flavor you want from the hops. So today I'm making a relatively lightly hopped beer, and I've decided also to put some fresh Nova Scotia cranberries in. So this is where additions are put into the kettle, and it goes through a process called whirlpooling, which basically means spinning around and stewing really nicely within the kettle. It spends a bit of time in that kettle, really getting those flavors of the hops, really getting the flavors of the additions, which is what you really, really want in a nice beer. So from the kettle, it is transferred into what's transferred through something called a heat exchanger, where the actual beer and liquid is actually cooled at this point. So the heat exchanger takes all the heat away from the beer and makes it quite cool, or into room temperature really, where it's brought into our fermentation tank. And now our fermentation tank, this is again where it spends 7 to 10 days if it's ale, 14 to 21 if it's a lager, and our beautiful friend yeast is added. Yeast is added to the top or the bottom depending on what type of beer it is. We do closed fermentation, and we let it sit. And this is where the yeast, our best friends, really take action and really turn it right into beautiful alcoholic beer. After between 7 to 21 days, the beer sometimes is filtered at this point, sometimes not, depending on what type of beer you're making. But it's brought over into what's called the bright tank. And the bright tank, really just our carbonation area. So here, it's shaken up with carbonation, really beautiful, nice bubbles, and from there, brought into bottles, cans, and kegs. So that's how to brew beer. We'll see how this one tastes. It was unfiltered, so maybe a little bit hoppy. Oh, delicious. So there you go, the brewing process in 4 minutes or less. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget, we're selling beer online, boxingrock.ca. Thank you.